You guys think that you go one way or you go the other way. It's all in on business, high performance, energy, productivity, focus, biohacking. Or you go the other way and you go, I'm going all in on my physique. I'm going to look like a savage. I'm going to have my chest pop in, veins pop in. But I'm also going to be now lethargic. I'm going to be dumb. I'm going to have brain fog all day. I'm going to make no money. You guys could not be further from the truth. You've got to understand that these polar opposites that you're switching between, both of them suck dick, guys. You have never looked at somebody like a bodybuilder who's just all in on the physique. Guys, I've been both ends of the spectrum. My first business was an elite physique, photo shoot, prep, coaching business, right? And the thing is, guys, you can look like an absolute savage and you're shredded for a photo shoot and you look crazy, I admit. But also in that moment, because of the style of training and nutrition setup, you ain't gonna make much money. You ain't gonna make much money. Why? Because you are going through these extreme bulks and cuts on the way your training and food is set up, and the severity of it just doesn't facilitate someone that's gonna have the energy and productivity to focus. So I get it. Just having the physique isn't that good. But I also think this. I also think just having the high performance, the energy, the biohacking health, that's also bullshit. Because I'm telling you this now, guys. Confidence is one of the biggest things. Confidence and respect are two of the biggest elements to success. I'm telling you now, no one ever looks at a guy who is pure in on biohacking and carnivore diet and goes, I want to look like him. I want to be like him. And they also don't look in the mirror and go, I'm bulletproof. I'm undeniable, which is an element you need, because it's not just about financial success. It's about internal success. It's about being the man you need to be physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. Don't just deem success as this financial thing. You want to be winning in all areas. You want to be feeling good inside when you got the money, right? You want to be the man. And guys, I've been both ends of the spectrum. I've gone pure down the physique route. I've gone pure down the health and biohacking route. And neither of them are the answer. The answer lies, guys, the answer lies in what I deem as a sliding scale. A sliding scale. And you've got pure health at this side. You've got pure physique at this side. We want to sit somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to walk you through it now. How I set my nutrition, my training up so that you can be the man you know you need to be. You can look in the mirror and go, I'm bulletproof. Anything I think of, I'm going to achieve it. You have to have that level of confidence. It's not even believing at this point. It's knowing everything you think is going to come to reality, because you know you're undeniable. You're bulletproof. You're a competitive human being. Also, for you guys who are in, let's say, coaching, personal brand, everything's going personal brand these days. You also need to be somebody, for the sake of yourself, not only that, but for the sake of your business, where you're going to command respect. I don't look at a guy that does a carnivore diet and go, he commands my respect. I want to be him. We've got to think about this, guys, especially you guys who are dealing with other men. Maybe you're selling clothes, you've got an e-com store to other men. Maybe you have a coaching brand to other men. You need to actually build yourself into the character that is undeniable physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. And there is a version of you which is that guy. And if that guy, where people would listen to them, has more muscle, you need to build more muscle. But you also still need to be focused, sharp, have good health. Okay, so everything's on a sliding scale. We want to be slap bang down the middle. And this is how we do it. We go for, we need to build the physique, but we need to be sharp. In order to do this, the first thing we do is we go for nutrition, macros wise, across the total day, very physique style-esque. So we typically are going to go higher carb, moderate to higher carb, lower to moderate fats, enough fats to support hormone function and everything like that, and constant flow of energy, but higher carb so we can get that intramuscular fullness. We can build the muscle mass. We can get that chest popping. We can recover. Everyone who does the carnivore diet says to me, Tom, been doing carnivore, it's great, but I don't recover. Especially when you get leaner. So they have to stay at a higher body fat percentage. And then they look like a flaccid, soft fog. We want to be lean with the muscle pumped. That's what we want to look like. So we're going to go higher carb, lower to moderate fat, and high protein. Okay? We want to achieve a body where we have low body fat, moderate muscle mass, moderate to high muscle mass, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like an athletic human being, a solid physique, but then we want high energy, okay? Now, how are we going to do this? Well, we have to understand, okay, macros, moderate to high carb, low to moderate fats, cool. But then the next art to this is where we put those macronutrients in the day. Because you guys, if you're an entrepreneur, you're working on your own business, you want that energy. We need energy, we need focus, we need productivity. You can see here, guys, that's my little work block at the minute until my new desk arrives. You gotta be focused. You've got to be very focused. And this is what I do. As opposed to the typical physique style of we're going to go high carb pre-workout, we're going to go extremely high post-workout meal, then we're going to go moderate carb all the way through the day, then high carb again at night. And there's just carbs everywhere. We're going to have the total macros and calories very physique-esque, but we're going to put it at opposite ends of the day and leave the middle quite free of carbohydrates. So what I do is I train fasted. Every morning, 6:30 a.m., I train. Hypertrophy style training. I always do 4 sessions of list cardio a week too. So I'm athletic, I'm lean, I'm healthy, I've got good CV health. Okay? I train fasted. This is slightly now up the health scale, up the business scale, more up the productivity scale. So macros are at the physique side, bit of fasting, coming back up the scale. Train fasted. All I do before I train is I hydrate, get salts in, electrolytes in, and some amino acids, sometimes coffee, pre-workout, etc. as well. After I train, I have a post-workout meal, which is high carb. High carb, low fat, restore glycogen, max out recovery, allow the muscle to repair, grow tissue, okay? Then what I'll typically do is, you guys, you are your own boss, you can set up your day how you want. You can set it up however you want. So I then take an hour, personally, where I go, okay, after I've trained, I'm gonna have my post-workout meal, and I'm just gonna do some admin. I'm gonna get back to inquiries for coaching. I'm gonna reply to my clients on my phone. I do easy, low leverage work because straight after a heavy training session, you are gonna be a little bit more fatigued. You just had a high carb meal, you are gonna feel a little bit slower. And then what I'll do is a 15-minute walk. So I'll do easy work from my phone, which doesn't require much focus, and then go on a walk, and that brings my energy back up. I'll then do like a set of press-ups to bring my frequency back up. Then what I do is I go back into work throughout the day, and I run a low carb diet throughout the day. Low carbs through the day. So I've started high carb post-workout, then I bring the carbs back down and I go more like steak and avocado, chicken and avocado, extra virgin olive oil, prawns, salmon. So I'm typically higher protein, moderate fats through the day. Carbohydrates are gonna be low amounts of roast white potato, sweet potato, rice, keeping it very low. So I can focus and maybe go from, let's say, 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. with very low carbohydrates in the system, impacting my brain, At the end of the day, I have my final meal, which is a high carb, high fat, high protein meal, my biggest meal of the day, which is a little bit more like what people would do carnivore, but with the carbs. The carbs are gonna help me recover, sleep. The fats, the high cholesterol in that final meal, like the eggs, are gonna help me sleep. But what it also does, guys, is you've put a lot of carbs at the end of the day, which isn't around your work block, which means you know, it's not impacting it. But your total macros are still going to be extremely beneficial to building muscle tissue, losing body fat, looking and recovering at your best. But the high carb final meal, not only does it help all that and help you sleep, as long as it's a couple of hours before bed and digested, it now acts as a pre-workout meal for the following morning fasted. So when you train fasted in the morning, that glycogen from your final meal is still there. It's still going to be utilized, and you can train at a very high level in a fasted state, as long as you have your salts in and your electrolytes in and you have hydration in, because the glycogen, the water and the salt is what's going to give you that intramuscular fullness and performance in your training session. Okay, so when people say, oh, I'm weak when I train fasted, no, you're just not hydrated most likely, okay, if you've got carbohydrates in. All right, now, the next thing I want to talk about is, okay, where do I do my work in the day? I talked about we do some low leverage work straight after the gym when I'm at my most fatigued for the day. But then what I also do, guys, is I do a really high leverage work block between like 4 and 6:30 a.m. So a couple of hours of work. Sometimes it's more like 3 a.m. in all honesty. This morning it was 3 a.m. And this is high frequency work, brainstorming, thinking, alignment and assumptions on who I want to become. Like this is my lateral thinking, my creative thinking, writing down stuff I want to do to evolve the coaching business. And really getting in a deep work block. So I do this in a mentally fasted state, as in there's no food digesting in my stomach, so I'm sharp, I'm at my most aligned state, highest frequency state, but yet I've still got carbs in my body for training fasted that are now just in the muscle in the form of glycogen from last night, but there's nothing slowing me down. So I'm still working almost like I'm in the health routine, carnivore fasted routine. I'm still being able to do the high leverage work and focus and be productive, but I can still train like the physique guy. Then through my day, I come back lower carb, go from there. It's nice and sharp all day. And then I've got my high carbs and fats, which helps with my sleep, and I'm building muscle, losing body fat, etc. The next thing I want to touch on is the roadmap, the physique roadmap. I teach all of my guys and take them all through what I call a priming phase, a diet recomposition phase, a reverse phase, and then a performance phase before a holding phase, and back through that cycle. Now, when we're optimizing for entrepreneurs, career-focused guys who want performance but also build themselves into an absolute savage, the difference is in comparison to the pure physique-esque. Yes, we're going to be macrosy similar, but we're not going to be quite as aggressive in the phases. If we think about like photo shoot, prep, bodybuilding, elite physique, the roadmap is going to be like extreme bulks, extreme diets. We're not going to do that. We want to be in an approach where we are sharp every day of the year, no matter what. We feel good, we feel confident, no matter what. All year. So the roadmap is going to be the same roadmap, but it's going to look slightly different. It's going to be more like a gentle wave. I take all my guys at the very start into a priming phase, get them healthy, get them responsive, get them so that when we make the amendments, the body reacts nice and sharp. And then we come into a diet recomposition phase where we have the macro setup where we're going to build muscle tissue, but we're also going to lose body fat based on where the calories, the macros are, and also where the movement and expenditure is. So the training's taking care of building tissue, the hypertrophy training we set them up with around the aesthetic they want, but then we're still losing body fat. But it's not at an aggressive standpoint. You're not going to go gray. You're actually going to feel sharper. You're going to feel more aligned. Your productivity is going to be higher than ever. Your confidence is going to be higher than ever because you get in the best shape of your life. You're going to appear to have more muscle because you're building muscle, but you're also getting leaner, so you're going to have more muscle mass, and you're going to have more fullness. So it's just a win-win-win. And we bring you into this 8 to 10% body fat range before we work you back up, we load some more glycogen in, we reset, and then we go into a performance phase, which is going to be a very subtle surplus where we stay lean. Maximum we would work up to at the top of this phase over maybe a 20-week period would be 12% body fat. You're lean, you're sharp, you're high performing year round, but we're still following that roadmap where we can get lean and we can build tissue, we can keep building muscle mass, and you can become the man you want to become that has the confidence, that actually likes himself when they look in the mirror, that demands respect from people, that fits in their shirts nicely and they don't look like that limp spaghetti carnivore guy like Mark Zuckerberg used to be. He's gone all in on his fitness now. He's getting jacked. He's gone higher carb. This is what all these guys are doing, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is the foods. So we're going physique with the macros, but then we're repositioning where those macros go in the day so that we can still work at the highest level. Like I do that heavy work in the morning, and then do some low leverage work when my energy is my lowest. I can control my schedule. Then I put the rest of my work in through the day before my final meal. We're also going to take major control of food sources. We want to be picking unreal food sources. We want to be picking nice carbohydrate sources. Sweet potato, white rice, sourdough. Nothing that's going to do any of these crazy spikes. Nothing that's sprayed with folic acid and is going to give us brain fog. Just high performance carbohydrates. So we're keeping everything clean, everything whole foods, everything as organic as we can. So we're picking food sources just like we would if we were optimizing for health, but we're just aligning that into the macros of more of a physique-esque program. The next thing is water and electrolytes and hydration. This is the most unspoken supplement. Everyone says, what supplement for brain focus? Hydrate and get your electrolytes in. I am anal for this, guys. If I don't take my electrolytes and my aminos and get my salts and my water nailed, especially when I live out in Dubai and I'm in my villa in Bali at the minute, if I don't have this, I notice crashes. It's more important than anything. Your mindset around the stories you tell yourself is the most important. If you tell yourself you're going to be brain fogged, you will be. If you tell yourself repeatedly that you are sharp, you are always in flow state, you also will be. But electrolytes physiologically is so important, okay? So that's the main thing. Now, sleep, is that important? The middle of the night is 12 o'clock. If you want 6 hours sleep, 9 p.m., 3 a.m. If you want 8 hours sleep, 8 p.m., 4 a.m. Or maybe you shift it slightly, maybe like 10 p.m., 4 a.m. 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours sleep. I actually find 6 to 7 is my most optimal. I feel my sharpest with that early wake up. And I also want to say this, guys. This is how we set it up. But all you guys that say that like, oh, carnivore, yeah, I need this, da 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 da. You know you look shit. And number two, most of you guys still don't even have a fucking business. And three, you guys are worse than the guys that actually follow a proper strategy with carbohydrates, with hypertrophy training. You guys are worse than those, and you just lose in all areas. Why? Because you also don't have the mindset to control an off-plan meal. It's always the guys who say, I'm carnivore, I don't like carbohydrates, they give me brain fog. It's always those guys that are the ones out on the piss on the Saturday night. It's always those guys that are the ones that order the pizza and the burger and the fries and the fucking kebab when they go out with their friends, right? The biggest thing you guys are missing, if you guys honestly have brain fog, you honestly don't have the focus, the high performance lifestyle, it's because not just of your macros, guys, that you're putting all the blame on. It's because of you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment from the habits you know you need to be doing in all areas, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. You're out of alignment from the highest version of yourself, and you've got vices. You've got the alcohol in, you've got the porn in, you've got the casual sex in, you've got the procrastination in, you've got the TikTok doom scrolling in. That's why you've got no energy, guys. You've got physiological energy, which is your macros, which is your training, but what you guys all forget about is you've got something called free energy, universal energy. Actually aligning with the highest version of yourself. This is something we go so deep on with my elite fitness and mindset clients, especially like the tier 3s, because if you want to be an entrepreneur at the highest level and you want to look your best, you have to be aligned in all areas. All areas. So stop passing blame and thinking it's just the macros. It's not, it's everything. It's having your habits aligned with the man you want to become. having everything aligned. You have to act today like the guy you want to become, like the guy who has the muscle mass, the low body fat, the high energy, the performance. And don't just put the blame on the macros. It's just how you're operating. It's how you're operating, guys. That's how I set my day up anyway. Physique style macros. I'm on the scale. I'm in the middle of the scale. I then go health side with the food sources. I go health side with a little bit more of the fasting. I manipulate where the macros go in the day, but the total macros dictate the physique progress. I hypertrophy train, hydration intention, electrolyte intention, sleep intention. I don't have off-plan meals like an idiot. Wherever I go, I keep it clean. I don't have the vices. My energy is high because I stack wins every day. I hit my macros every day. I hit my training every day. I read the mindset books every day. I do my non-negotiable tasks for my business that guarantee growth every day. This is what builds your free energy. This is what truly gives you high energy, guys. It's alignment. And that's exactly what I do in my programs. It's an alignment program. It's turning you in the man you need to become. It's macros, it's training, it's mindset, it's removing vices, it's waking up early, it's spiritually aligning to your higher self. It's all of it. Let's get it, let's go, guys. If you implement this, guys, you're gonna change everything. Don't think you go just physique, don't think you go just health and business. You need to be the man 360. You need the physique, you need the mindset, you need the spiritual alignment, you need the money. Only then, when you have all of them and you've truly aligned with your higher self, will you have the feeling you want inside. You guys think the outcomes, you think just the money, you think just the villas is gonna give you the feeling you want. There's things you want and there's things you need. Now I know from hindsight, I know from wisdom, the things you need are the process. The things you need are the man you become. The things you want are just there. There's no validation in what you want. Deep this, guys. Deep this. We had a big call on this with my clients this morning. Let's get it, let's go, apply it, live it, and win it.